New this morning, climate change is outpacing climate policy, and the U.S. in particular is bad at taking action. That's all according to CU Boulder professors who are now looking into why we can't pass policy fast enough. Our Anusha Roy spoke with some of those professors, and Anusha, they are hoping that if we all understand our behavior a little bit better, maybe we can change that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the goals here. And this becomes a huge problem if the U.S. doesn't enact meaningful policy, because then it may not happen worldwide. That is how central of a role we are playing in this, and yet the U.S. is falling behind other countries. So I chatted with professors Leif von Boven and Max Boykoff at CU Boulder. They were giving their insight both from an environmental perspective and a psychological perspective on everything from how we perceived COVID to political divisions and how all of that is impacting how we address climate change.
That was a really immediate, acute threat. People were dying in front of us, our friends, neighbors. Climate change is equally threatening, but it's always just a little bit off in the distance, right? So it's always something we can do next time around.
The anomalies arise when we talk about just how polarized and politicized these issues have become in this country. And so really it becomes a matter in the domain of left-right politics, where that isn't the case in some other countries.
So researchers are watching things like the climate scorecard rating put together by climate change advocates. It puts the U.S. lower on the list. It shows things like the U.S. planning to reduce emissions by 50% in 7 years, but not submitting a plan, or the U.S. expressing a goal to become carbon neutral by 2050 without a real commitment or people really believing, is the U.S. going to follow through on that? In comparison, you look at the European Union, Germany, the U.K., they're ranking at the top, having made a lot more pledges and coming out with a lot more specifics about how they would actually reach these goals.
And listening to this research, a big question just really comes to mind, and that's, why are other countries more successful with this?
Yeah, other countries definitely have political parties fighting with each other, and it gets intense, it gets nasty, but then there's more of an understanding, according to these professors, that at some point you have to work together, find that middle ground, And of course, we are doing a lot of good work. There's work happening nationally, amazing work happening here in Colorado. It's just, is it fast enough? The really great thing is that there's actually a lot of common ground between the Democrats and the Republicans. Yeah. You look at permitting, you talk about investing in renewable energy, all these areas where they actually agree. So if you focus on that, you can make a lot of strides in this.
True.
It seems like they're just throwing out numbers and years, and we're not actually doing
what are we going to do about it? And it's where can you find a place where you can agree there's a lot of that space, and then start acting on that?
And in the end, a lot of people really care about this.
They do.
Anusha, thank you.